Yeah, I mean, it's the way this group's responded all year is that you wouldn't have known that, we had a game missing and that, we missed that opportunity. The guys just came in and got to work and had a great attitude. And, anytime this group's together, we get better. And it's just been a good week of practice. And we're excited to play somebody, but we knew going in that this is going to be one of those years where who knows what's going to happen. And we just got to take the opportunities when we get them and keep working when we don't.
And then looking ahead, kind of a tough matchup all of a sudden on Saturday. You get a couple extra days to practice now. What do you know about Black Hills coming here?
Yeah.
They're probably going to be looking for that kind of that revenge matchup. How do you combat that?
Yeah, they were missing two key guys the first time we played them, and both guys are very talented players that make them more athletic, make them longer, and obviously can score the basketball as well. So it creates a real challenge for us. But we've improved a lot. Georgie, the last time we played, didn't get really any practice that week because he was out, and so he played without practicing. And then to have both Blaze Threet and Jared Small back and potentially able to help us, we'll be deeper as well and longer and more athletic. And so, I think we're excited about the challenge of just, we need to be better than we were the first time to win, and I think we are. And so, but they're certainly one of the elite teams in the league this year when they're at full strength, and so we're looking forward to see where we stand.
Questions?
With having Jared and Blaze back now, I mean, you'd kind of gotten into a rotation and you knew that things were going to change. So now, obviously, you got to figure out yet another rotation. But how do you kind of see their roles fitting in?
Yeah, well, they're both really talented offensively, and so, they certainly will help on that end of the floor. Blaze's freshman year has been disrupted a couple of different times, and so, there are times where he's a little bit out of position defensively, still needs some things to work on, and Jared is just trying to get back to full strength. And so offensively, he's looked pretty good. Defensively, he's still got a ways to go. So, trying to figure out combinations and all that, I think it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. But, we'll give guys opportunities and see what combinations are working. And we're trying different combinations in practice, trying to figure out what combinations work well. The interesting thing all year has been, it doesn't matter who's in, doesn't matter who's out. If we put our top 10 or 12 or at the beginning of the year our top 15 on the floor, there really was no difference. It didn't matter what combinations together. It didn't matter who was in, who was out of the lineup. Every scrimmage was incredibly competitive and very close. So I do feel very confident in that whole rotational group that if we put them in, they're going to contribute. And so it's a good problem to have, trying to figure out what those best combinations are.
And guys, the way the season has started out, I mean, you've been playing really well, and especially that last week before Christmas really looked like everything had kind of clicked. How do you kind of keep that rolling and not let, especially the young guys, kind of get a little too heady, like, okay, we're undefeated, we're climbing up in the national rankings. How do you guys kind of keep this thing rolling?
Well, I feel like our seniors, we do a pretty good job of keeping like everybody. Like, we still have work to do. Obviously, the coaches tell us every day, like, we have work to do. And then, so I feel like just reminding ourselves that, job's not done yet. We're trying to repeat. So, I mean, that's the ultimate goal.
I mean, I think the returners like me, Rico, all the seniors, we kind of keep everyone level-headed. Like, we know what it takes to get to that next level. So when we just keep working hard in practice, the freshmen kind of see that and they fall foot. So,
you guys have any tricks mentally that you've been trying to stay sharp with these long breaks, or with a good start to the season? Does that you kind of want to forget it after a long break like this, or do you use that as confidence moving forward?
For me personally, I kind of put it in the past, like the past. I kind of just look for the future. I don't know how other guys do it, but that's just me personally. Every day we got to work to get better in the future. So.
Yeah, I would have to agree with him. I feel like once we hit that break, then we knew okay, we know how good we can be, but now we got to pick it up a step.
And you kind of mentioned having the championship last year. Does that kind of help going forward, just with the championship mindset and focus? So you have a goal to work towards? Or?
Yeah, I feel like that just gave us okay, we're good enough to win a championship, so why not do it again, And I feel like every day we just keep that same mentality and we come to work, and then coaches follow, we all follow, and then I feel like we do a pretty good job.
The break coming when it did, I mean, I know, the first semester is, probably more mentally ready for a break than physically with the added stress of COVID and everything else. Was it a perfect time to just kind of go home and see mom and dad and chill a little bit?
Yeah, it definitely was. Because you get to that point, where all you're doing is playing basketball and you're doing school, and at some point you just need a break from it all. So, and then seeing all your family members, I mean, it's relaxing. So, I think it was at a perfect time.
Yeah, I feel like it was a perfect timing, and then like it wasn't too long, it wasn't too short. A week was perfect. Go see your family, your loved ones, and then you just come back straight back to work.
Coach, I think it was you last time we talked. I think you kind of mentioned that the D2 mandatory NCAA break has kind of been a good thing in the past. I guess they kind of just mentioned that. Is that you kind of still feel the same way? Or?
Yeah, I think it's great. One is you don't get into this competitive thing where coaches are, not giving guys a long enough break. And I do think everybody needs a break, and, back-to-back weekends on the road for us. And then I think just one of the things that I think gets forgotten in this is that, one is these guys have been here since basically the first week in November with no students here. And, it's not the most exciting time of year outside of basketball for them. And then just the longevity of like our freshmen, going off to school, and a lot of them were here the whole fall without ever seeing their family. And so to have that break was obviously really important, both mentally and physically. And mental health has been, I think basketball has been really good for all of our mental health. I know it has been for mine during this time. Just getting back and having a regular schedule and being able to compete and work with the guys has been great for me. And I know how much these guys love the game, and I think just finding that balance of giving them the breaks and the opportunity we've had to play this year has been tremendous.
Looks like, a few more fans are going to be able to come in, and, you saw there were about 50, including most of you guys last night at the women's game. Is that kind of a little more of an emotional boost, knowing that it's not going to be a gym echoing and they don't have to pipe in crowd noise and things now?
Yeah, it's really exciting, like obviously we get pumped off the crowd and then all the cheering and stuff, so I feel like it's only going to elevate our game, but it's really exciting to have fans back.
Yeah, it is exciting. I'm excited because for me, I think playing in an empty gym with like no fans or anything is super weird, and it just like feels kind of awkward. And it's nice because the community loves the basketball team so much. It's kind of nice to show them like who we are, and like we're finally like getting good, you know what I mean? So it'll be exciting.
All right, favorite post-game meal? Question of the week this week, favorite post-game meal?
Domino's.
Domino's. That's not mine.
How about here?
Oh, okay.
I know that's your road, that's the road thing.
Probably Freddy's.
Wow. The girls said that too.
Yeah.
Freddy's is pretty good. I'd have to go to Freddy's. Yeah, you can't beat that.
I'll tell you, after the road trips, Domino's is about the only thing we can do now, and I am so tired of that. But for me, anything after a victory is good. So any victory meal is always good.